Today we are having a few guests over. We are having some family friends over for sort of a brunch or a lunch. Now, they are not vegan. I know one of them is a vegetarian. So this is some of the things that we are going to be cooking to feed our guests. We are making a few family favorites that are crowd pleasers and very, very easy to make. Everyone is going to love this, even your vegetarian or non-vegan friends. I'm going to take you from start to finish what we're going to prep the night of, and then we're going to show you what we're going to make the day of and what we served our family. This is the day before our family friends are coming over to visit for lunch. They are going to be coming over in the morning, and then we're just going to spend a whole day together eating and catching up, and you know how it goes. So I wanted to get a few things started on today just so that we don't have to make every single thing tomorrow. So I am going to start off with some hummus and also a little cracker type thing for our little appetizers snacky item. See over here, I have some chickpeas that we're just going to boil up. We already soaked this overnight, so we're just going to boil up our chickpeas fresh so we can make our hummus. Thank you guys so much, by the way, for all of the comments that you have given us, all of the suggestions of party foods. We are really grateful. I took a lot of those into account. A lot of the things that you recommended sounded so delicious, but because I wanted to include Trey in on some of the foods, I wanted to make something that he can actually eat himself as well. As you may know, he is going through some health issues and he's a lot better, but he is still, you know, very cautious of what he can eat. We're going to be making some things that he can enjoy together with us, such as like hummus, and we have some fresh veggies that he can dip as well. We're planning on some curries that we're going to make tomorrow, and some roasted vegetables with our delicious, famous, I think I want to call it famous cilantro lime dressing that I know everyone is going to love as well. I'm planning on making a cracker to dip with our hummus, so I am going to use some saltines. We're not going to just serve up some regular saltines. We are going to make some sort of a coating for this, a seasoning, and it's going to be so good dipped in some hummus. I can't wait to show you. So I am going to preheat the oven to about 400 degrees, and I'm going to have Isaiah help me with making this cracker. Well, let's start with the seasonings. I'm going to put all of our seasonings in a measuring cup here, and then we're just going to drizzle it onto our crackers and coat it all, put it on a baking sheet, and then bake all the crackers. This is in theory. In theory, this should work. So come on, Isaiah. We are going to measure out some oil. We have about a 1/4 cup of grapeseed oil here. And now some seasonings. So we started with some salt. We have about a tablespoon of each of the onion powder. We have 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast just for some added umami flavors. We added some Mediterranean style Italian seasoning, some smoked paprika. We have a little bit of garlic powder, and then we are going to mix it all up. All right, Isaiah, just put like half of that in there, and then we're going to toss it, okay? Let's see. Well, just use your, yeah.
1.
Do it everywhere. Just making sure you spread it nice. Okay. Okay, let me toss it. Okay, put some more. Repeat the process until all the crackers are coated. Check it out. Our crackers are all nice and coated with that delicious seasonings. It really tastes good. You can add spices if you want. Like if you want it spicy, go ahead and add some cayenne. That would be really good here. In here, we are going to put this on a baking sheet, and we're going to get it baking for about 10 minutes or so it's nice and toasty and yummy. We have parchment lined baking sheets, and we are going to lay out each cracker one by one on the baking sheet just to make sure every cracker has enough space. And then we're going to put it in a hot oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Toast them for about 3 to 5 minutes depending on how toasty you want it. Meanwhile, while the first batches of crackers are in there, we have Grace and Isaiah doing the next batch. We have one more tray here, which we're going to bake in the oven in a little bit once the other ones are done. And then we have a little bit left that we just couldn't fit onto the tray, so the kids are just going to snack on them. The convection one only needs to go for about 5 minutes, I'd say. So let's put it in for only 5 minutes. The next thing we're going to attempt to make is a chocolate covered strawberry, just for a little bit of a dessert. So we have some fresh strawberries here that I've just washed, and I'm just kind of air drying it. I put it on some paper towels just to make it, just to wick all of the moisture off before we put the chocolate. And then we're going to start melting some chocolate chips, some vegan chocolate chips that we got from our grocery haul. All right, to make sure that the chocolate doesn't seize or melt too quickly, we don't have a microwave, so we're going to use a double boiler. This prevents the chocolate from going too fast. So let's just put a cup of chocolate in here. We have a glass bowl, and underneath we have a pot with hot water, which is, we're boiling the water essentially. And then that steam is going to slowly melt the chocolate. Now, just for a little bit of sheen, we're going to add a little bit of coconut oil. So I'd say I have about a teaspoon here that we're going to melt down with the chocolate. Remember that chocolate melts pretty fast and you don't want it to seize or over melt. So just keep your eye on it, gently stir it every now and then. And I'm just going to do a fast forward of our chocolate melting, but it is so satisfying watching chocolate melt. Do you agree or not? This looks so good. I want to put my whole face in it, but I know... But we're gonna let it cool a little bit. Then we're going to coat the strawberries and then put them on a lined sort of just a tray or a plate with parchment so that it doesn't stick. And then we're gonna put it in the fridge to cool. I didn't know that chocolate covered strawberries were actually so easy to make. I mean, in theory, obviously you're just coating chocolate, but still. And they charge so much for it at the store. So I'm going to just start making this myself. Our chocolate covered strawberries are all done. I'm going to chill them really quick in the freezer, maybe in the fridge, and we will store them for tomorrow. Aren't they beautiful? Our chickpeas are done. They've been boiling for about an hour and a half maybe, and now we're just going to put them in a bowl and we're going to make some hummus out of them. I am going to save some of this because we're going to make a chickpea curry tomorrow. So I want to reserve this for using for tomorrow. We have a bowl of chickpeas here. So now we're going to just make a very, very easy, simple hummus. I am going to just put, let's see, about a teaspoon and a half of salt. We can adjust later on. Tahini, we like to use this brand. This is just the Simple Truth brand, but you can use any one. I can have a link in the description box for the one that we do recommend to use. So we're going to use about, let's say about a tablespoon or so of this creamy tahini. No, we're going to do 2 tablespoons. Typically, I've seen hummuses use olive oil. We're not going to use olive oil today because Trey can't have it at the moment. So we're going to just use a hemp oil. I love this brand. We use this for everything, and this is a really, really good brand. We usually buy the bulk, but they didn't have it anymore, so we just use this brand. I'm going to do about, I would say 3 tablespoons of this. We're going to do a juice of 1 lemon. Actually, you know what? I kind of like the zest of it. I washed it very nicely, so let me just get the zest off. We want to try not to get to the white bit because that is very bitter. So we're just going to try to get the peel of it, the yellow part. It doesn't yield too much, but you just use what you've got. This is a zest of 1 lemon. I'm going to use a handy dandy hand blender because I don't want to bring out the big machinery. So I'm going to blend it up. I have a little bit of water, about a 1/4 cup of water, which I'm going to add just to get stuff going in here. In case it's not sour enough or sour enough to your liking, you can add some more lemon. If you want it spicy, you can add that too. If you like roasted garlic, you can roast some garlic up, put it in there, whatever that you need. Adjust it to your taste buds. Want to add just a little touch of that smoky chipotle in it, so let me get that really quick. Just a tad. Add as much water as you need to get a smooth consistency. I added some onion powder as well and get it to as smooth of a consistency as possible. We need more lemon.
Not too oily though.
Hummus is done. It is nice and smooth and creamy. It tastes delicious. I can't wait to serve this up to our guests. The next thing I wanted to prep for is our roasted vegetables. Now I just have some broccoli and cauliflower, which I'm going to chop up, put it into a bowl and pre-marinate it for tomorrow. That way when it is ready to go, I can just pop all the vegetables on a baking tray, bake it up. It is ready to serve. We're gonna make a hemp sauce. We're gonna make our famous cilantro lime sauce, and then we're going to put all of the dressing onto our roasted vegetables and serve up. All the spices are in here. I could smell the cumin, the smoked paprika, all of this. It's gonna be delicious for everybody tomorrow. We swear by this. It's so good. That's why Trey eats it all the time. It's just so good, and it's just so versatile. You can add any other type of vegetable if you want. Some beets in here. We love roasted beets in here. Carrots, anything that your family likes to eat, just put it on in here. Potatoes if you want to. We're going to serve it with a hemp sauce, so we're not going to put any starch here. We like to follow our food charts, so starches go with vegetables, but starches don't go with proteins. Hemp sauce is a protein, so we are just gonna leave that out. Alrighty, our vegetables are all nice and coated with all the seasonings. I will maybe put a little bit more oil once I am ready to roast it, but as of right now, vegetables are done. I'm gonna put it in a large glass casserole dish so that's nice and ready for tomorrow. Into the fridge this goes. Check out our strawberries. Our chocolate covered strawberries are looking fantastic. These are all ready to go for tomorrow for dessert. Well, part of a dessert. We're going to serve this up with a baked pears and apple dish, so that way Trey can have some. Trey is doing woodwork outside because he is building something for the kitchen. I am very excited for. We have all these things prepped. We have a hummus, we have some crackers, some roast vegetables, we have our strawberries for dessert tomorrow. We only have to make our dessert, our baked pears and apples. We have to make a curry. I wanted to make that fresh. Tomorrow I do plan on also making a focaccia, an olive and cherry tomato focaccia, which is going to be delicious, and another type of dessert, like a cake or something. We'll see. Going to write, do not eat for tomorrow. At the end of the day, I decided to prep all of the vegetables that I need for the curry tomorrow as well, and also sort of a crudité platter, so I cut everything up. 'Tis the morning of. We are going to start off with some, we're going to make a focaccia bread from scratch. We love making this focaccia bread because it is so nice and easy. So Israel is going to work on that. I am going to prep some cherry tomatoes and some olives to put into the focaccia bread. Israel is our pro bread maker. I always task him with making bread, so he has made this many times. All right, so this is our focaccia dough. Once it is nice and mixed up, we're just going to let it sit. We're actually going to make it proof a little bit faster by putting it in the oven to warm, on warm settings, so that it can kind of warm up and rise as quick as possible. I will have the recipe in the description if you are interested, so you can make it yourself. After sort of kneading the dough, we're also going to add the seasonings inside the dough. We have some Italian seasonings, onion powder, you can put any seasonings you want. Then I have the two youngest help me prep some apples and pears for dessert. Something else I'm going to be making is a baked pears and apples. This is going to be really delicious. We're going to have some vanilla beans in it. It's going to be lovely. But let's just chop up some pears. I have some red pears. I have some Bartlett pears and some apples. We have some gala and honey crisps. We have the dough ball here. We're just going to toss it with some olive oil, and then we're going to cover it, put it into our warm oven to let it just proof. We're going to give it about 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so. We wanted to make enough for everybody, so we have a lot of apples and pears to chop up. I'm going to be using a an organic Madagascar vanilla bean. We bought this at Whole Foods. It's kind of expensive, but it's really, really delicious and worth it. So we just have the bean here. I'm going to use a little bit like this, and then we're going to split it up, put the seeds in, and it's going to be really good in here. In here we have 2 tablespoons of agave syrup. We have a tablespoon of cinnamon and half a tablespoon of clove, just for the flavors. Let's see. Whoa, check that out. Look at that.
I mean, whatever's left over.
Okay.
No,
It
not
smells so- I already
only.
called it.
No. It smells like cinnamon with some.
I'm trying to get as much beans out from this little pot as much as possible. All right, here.
I'll slice it in half.
Hey, share that.
It tastes like wood.
Wood? Uh-oh. I made a
What
mess.
does it taste like? Nothing.
Nothing?
Wood and nothing. No, it tastes like something and a bit of vanilla. Look, you gotta get in this inside.
Let's put this into our baking tray. We're going to cover this with a tray, bake it at 375 degrees for about an hour or so. Last night, I prepped a bunch of vegetables already. So we're going to make a very simple chickpea curry. We have some onions, some bell peppers, tomatoes, zucchini, some ginger. We're going to just put it into this pot. So I got some grapeseed oil going in. Alrighty, so in goes all of my vegetables. Well, really, I'm just gonna start off with the onions, ginger, and peppers. Let's just get that started. So the onions and peppers are going a little bit. They're sweaty. Not sweaty, but you know what I mean. They're nice and getting browned and cooked down. Let's continue to cook this before we add the tomatoes. I'm not sure if you can see, but the onions and bell peppers are really nice and getting really soft and golden brown. I'm going to add my zucchini and my tomatoes in here. You can add any vegetables you want. This is what I have on hand, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of salt, just to start with. I also have the stems of some coriander or cilantro that I have here just to add into the curry. And I have a whole bunch of seasonings here for curry. So let's just start adding some of these ingredients. We've got onion powder. I'm gonna do like 2. I have 2 smoked paprika. We also added about 2 teaspoons of cumin powder. We have like 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds going in, some cinnamon, some clove, and the chickpeas, of course. Be sure to toast your curry flavors whenever you're cooking curries to bring out the flavors. All right, let's bake a cake. Now we are going to be working on another dessert. We are going to be making a cake. It's going to be an almond vanilla type of cake with a cashew cream. We have never made this. We're kind of wing it, so wish us luck. So I have some cashews here that I'm going to start boiling. This is the first time we're going to be using cashews to make a frosting, and it actually turned out really well. So we got that boiling. Then we're going to have the kiddos start on the cake batter. We're winging it. We added some flax eggs, some coconut oil, spelt flour, vanilla, almond extract for that almondy taste, and we're going to bake it in 2 pans. We will bake them at about 375 for about, I would say, 30-35 minutes. We will check for the doneness later. These apples, these baked pears and apples are out. Now, I noticed that a lot of the sauces were underneath, so I wanted to give it a quick stir. The fruit was still a little bit firm, so we put it in for another 35 minutes. Back onto the curry, we are just adding some coconut cream here. Actually, it's a coconut milk. If you have coconut cream, you can use that as well. We're just stirring it, making sure that the flavors are melding beautifully. So it's now time to make the focaccia. We have a lined baking sheet with some we have a lined baking sheet with parchment. We're going to add a bit of olive oil on the bottom. And we have our dough here. I am giving it a quick knead, then I'm just going to bring up this big old fun piece of dough, plop it onto our parchment, and we're going to try to spread it out as best as possible. Then to add the focaccia signature, we're going to poke some holes. Now, initially, the plan was to proof it a second time. Usually it should rise a little bit more. However, we didn't have much time, so we're just going to add some already sliced olives, Kalamata olives. We have some cherry tomatoes, which we have added some Italian seasoning and olive oil on the top. And we will bake this at 400 degrees for about 30 minutes or so. We added some cilantro just as a finishing touch on our curry, and now it is crunch time. We started getting as much as we can ready. The cakes came out, and the apples and pears were really nice and deliciously roasted. I had all the kiddos help out with setting everything up, putting things on platters. Grace is helping me make the cashew cream that's going to go on the cake. The hummus is done. I tried to decorate it all nice and beautiful. The kids are doing the crackers and vegetable arrangements, and this is our spread. The cake was a little bit difficult, but we did what we could and salvaged that. We have all of our delicious food, roasted broccoli, our focaccia, our curry. Everything was beautiful. Our guests also brought a Lebanese type of chickpea garbanzo bean salad, which is served with lavash bread. It was beautiful. Check out our spread here. We have a lot of food today, and we are so excited. We can't wait to share with you how everything went. It feels like we did really well. We have a bunch of foods like appetizers and mains and dessert. I know our guests are gonna enjoy this food, and we will catch up with you later. Alrighty, our brunch and lunch day is over. We had a great time with our guests. We have a few leftovers such as desserts. We have our focaccia bread. We have some leftover roasted vegetable, some hummus, a little bit more vegetables here, some curry, and I completely forgot to serve this. It's kind of a fail, but we still have our strawberries, our chocolate covered strawberries that I completely forgot to take out. Which is kind of a fail, but oh well. They still had a great time. They still had a good helping of our dessert. Our almond cake with cashew cream, it didn't turn out as well as I wanted it. I wanted it to be a 2-tier cake. I kind of just winged it, and I guess we didn't oil the pan enough, so the cake didn't come out as planned. So we kind of made sort of like a trifle type thing in a baking sheet, and we just put our cashew sauce on it. Other than that, everything was absolutely delicious. Today was definitely a great turnout. We loved every minute of it. Just spending time with the family and just spending time with the friends. It was a lovely, lovely day just to catch up and be with our friends. Hope you guys enjoyed spending time with us today, and let us know what you would like to serve, or let us know what your favorite things to serve to your vegetarian friends or your non-vegan friends at a dinner party. Love all those suggestions that you gave us. Thank you so much for all of you guys who watched. I hope you guys were inspired for your next family gathering or your friends gathering. Alrighty, the boys are out there playing with woodworking equipment, so I better say bye. Subscribe if you're new, and we will see you on the next one. Bye everybody.